Okay. No, don't want the moves, I want these bits here. A, B. What I miss? A, B, C, D, E. So that says P and P implies Q is a premise. P and Q is our conclusion. Those two come from A. Now the first thing we're doing is conjunction on the left. So we're breaking down a conjunction and we're keeping both of those. So that tells us we're going to get P from here, we're going to get P arrow Q from here. Okay, and those both come from going to step B. Now, the next move is we're going to copy the P. That means we're going to be using this P twice. So expect two things over here to be using our 3. Now, if we were being very careful, and we could only use each of these lines once, then I would extract this P out the second time. So I could use it once, but we can use our premise, our line more than once. Okay, so that's just a warning. Next thing is we're getting rid of this conjunction on the right. We're going to try to prove, instead of proving P and Q, we're going to try to prove P, we're going to try to prove Q. We're going to split our proof into 2 lots. We're going to try to prove Q, and we're trying to prove P. 5 and 6. That's D.
Why don't we get Q from 3 to 4 combined?
Oh, we will. I'm just breaking this one going upwards.
Oh, right.
Which is just what this rule here is doing, getting rid of the conjunction on the right.
Oh,
We're about to do that on the next one.
Right.
So you can see where we're going. I'm just trying to follow these steps, and it may be less efficient from 5 and 6. Okay. Now this says we have 2 things without justifications. That's to say 2 things, 2 different arguments. And you can see now we've got 2 different arguments. One with a Q conclusion, one with a P conclusion. Now, our P premise that we had earlier is going to be enough to prove our P. So this 3 is going to be enough to prove this thing here. And that one's already nicely done. We need our P and our P arrow Q. We need these 2 are going to prove this. So that tells us 3 and 4 will be enough to prove this. And how? Next line up, arrow. So it actually tells us what that rule is going to be. I guess we now need to decide if it's an arrow introduction or elimination, but we can do that for ourselves, I'm hoping. But that's told us that Q came from lines 3 and 4 and an arrow. So it did most of that for us. Okay, so now every line is justified. And if you notice there's a slightly odd feature there of following the Benson sequence that we normally wouldn't have. We've got 2 copies of P. And the first thing we would do is we kind of get rid of this copy. We don't need this extra copy, right? But that's these 2 copies of P over here is why we have that. Because we can't use things more than once easily. Now in practice we'd cross this out. Oh. We'd cross this out. That's this 6. And we just change that to 3. So we'd use this P here. But now of course we're using 3 twice. Once for here and once for here. And that again is the 2 copies of P. Which, in these logics, we don't care about copies. There's lots of logics where you can say you can only use things once. That's particularly useful when you're doing a logic for, say, database resources, or you've got a logic which handles your disk arrays. And they build logics to handle disk arrays, which are like this, but you can't use your premise more than once. Why? Because you're already reading off that disk. That disk or premise is busy, thank you very much. So, that's when they just start doing those sorts of things. We now have a way of tracking that. Okay, sorry, there's a question?
Yes, so by doing that,
yep.
we'll never know when to use the copy rule, right?
Yeah, so this one we can kind of tell that we've used a copy rule by using something multiple times. We can't exactly know when. So, as we discovered in the last one when we had a natural deduction turned into Getson, we went here till we suddenly needed a copy, and we traced back to where we needed to get it from, sort of added in a few lines back. So it's not isomorphic, it's not like at least the level that I'm describing that with you, isn't enough to make it like a computer translation between the two, because of copy and one or two other things. That can be formalised, you can write it, but it's many pages of dense proof, which isn't fun to teach. So I just say, you can do it if you really want to, but let's not, away from my hands. But all the other stuff is kind of semi-automated between the two, right? You can see how the rest of it relates, and the copy is just a bit loose.